Welcome back. Let us discuss the remaining part of the lesson, the never never nest. In the previous class, we stopped at the Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. Jack was trying to tell Aunt Jane how he was able to pay £7 8 and 8 pence a week out of the £6 that he earns per week. So he says that the remaining amount he would borrow from the Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation to pay the remaining part of the installment. Now, next Jill says, they are only too glad to loan you any amount you like. See, Aunt Jane, Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation is a financial corporation. They are only too glad, they will be very happy to loan you any amount you like. Just on note of hand, just on hand note, you can take a hand loan from them. They are ready to, or they are very happy or glad to lend you any amount that you want. Aunt Jane, and how do you propose to pay that back? Okay, you borrow the money to pay the remaining part of the installments. And how do you pay this money that you are borrowing from the Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation? Jack says, oh, that's easy too. You just pay it back in installments. See, again installments. Not only had they bought all the things on installments, they are paying more amount towards installments than their own income per week. And to pay the rest of the amount towards installments, they borrow the money from a financial institution named Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. And when Aunt Jane asks them, how do you expect to pay them back? Means Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. Jack says again, that's easy, Aunt Jane. We just pay it back in installments. Already to pay the installments only, they are borrowing the money from the Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. To pay them the money back, again they say that they would borrow the money on installments. They would pay that on installments. Aunt Jane, installments. She claps her hand to her forehead like this. This is what is called clapping her hand to the forehead. And sinks back weakly. Very weakly, she just sinks back, means sits back into the chair. Then realizes that she is sitting on Mrs. Sage's piece and leaps to her feet again with a little shriek. She sinks back weakly. Next moment she realized that she was sitting on the furniture, on the chair that belonged to somebody, Mrs. Sage or somebody. She leaps to her feet then. Immediately she jumps to her feet. Oh my God, it's not yours. I cannot sit on the furniture that belongs to somebody. And with a little shriek, shriek means what? A shrill cry. With a shrill cry, she jumped up from the chair, realizing that it did not belong fully to Jack and Jane, but it belonged to some other, Mrs. Sage or somebody, means some other company. Jack, Aunt Jane, is anything the matter? Jack says, he sees Aunt Jane feeling very upset, very disturbed, almost jumps back from the chair. He thought something was wrong there with Aunt Jane. He is asking there, is anything the matter? Aunt Jane, would you like to lie down? Aunt Jane, are you feeling well? Are you not okay? If not, please lie down there on the bed. Aunt Jane, lie down? Do you suppose I am going to trust myself in a bed that belongs to Mrs. Sage or Marks or Spencer or somebody? What is this, Mr. Jack? Do you think that I will trust myself, or I am going to trust myself in a bed that belong to Mrs. Sage or Mr. Spencer and or Marks or somebody else? Because it is not, anything is not owned by you fully here. Everything belongs to somebody or the other, some corporation or some furniture company or some financial institution. No, I am sorry, I am not going to lie down anywhere, I am going home. Jill, oh, must you really go? What is this, Aunt Jane? Just now you came. Must you really go? Is it necessary? Is it urgent now? Aunt Jane says, I think I had better. I think I had better go away now itself immediately. Otherwise, after listening to all what you are doing there, I may not be able to get up again. So I had better leave from now itself. Then Jack offers her, I will drive you to the station. Then Aunt Jane, if you must go, then I will drive you. Means I will drop you there at the station in the car. Aunt Jane, what? Travel in a car that has only one tire and two thingamies? No, thank you. I'll take the bus. Oh my God. What is that, Jack? You want me to travel in a car that has only one tire and two thingamies, one or two cylinders? Thingamies are some unimportant things. No, thank you. I will never be trusting this car. I will never be traveling in your car anyway. I'll take the bus. I'll go by bus. I never take your offer to go by the car. See how she was really shocked. Jack, well, of course, if you feel like that about it, okay, Aunt Jane, if you feel like that, if you feel that you should not travel in my car that belongs to somebody, that's your choice. Of course, Aunt Jane, it's your choice. Aunt Jane relenting a little. Relenting means what? Controlling or restraining herself. Restraining her anger or irritation at the way they were living. Everything was on installments. She was really shocked and worried, and she was really commenting on them that none of the things belonged to them fully. But she relented a little. She held back her anger a little, and then now she says, now I'm sorry if I sounded rude. I'm sorry, Mr. Jack and Jill. Mr. Jack and Jill, my dears, I'm sorry if I sounded rude. If I spoke rudely to you, sounded rude means if I spoke rudely to you about the way you are living, I am very sorry for that, my dears. But really I am shocked to find the way you are living. But really, I would like to say the truth, my dear Jack and Jill, that I am shocked to find the way you are living. How is it possible? What is the way you are living? I have never vowed a penny in my life. That means I have never bought or vowed or borrowed a penny, a paisa, a single paisa from anybody, penny. In my life, cash down. That's my motto. And I want you to do the same. Cash down means if I want to buy something, I will pay the full cash and take it. Buy it. I will never buy anything on installments, and I have never bought anything on installments. I never have borrowed a single penny from anybody. My motto is cash down. What's the meaning of motto? Motto. A maxim adopted as a rule of conduct. Simply we can say our principle, my motto is never owe a penny to anybody. If you want to buy anything, cash down, pay the full cash and buy it. And I want you also to do the same. She opens her handbag now. Now, look. Here is a little check I was meaning to give you anyway. Now look, my dears. Anyway, I was meaning to give you a check because I have come to you after 1 or 2 years of your marriage. A little check is there for you now. I was meaning to give you anyway. Not because I have heard that you all bought these things in installment. Just I was meaning to give it anyway. She hands it to Jill. And she hands over the check to Jill. Suppose you take it and pay off just one of your bills, so that you can say one thing at least really belongs to you. So, my intention, my dears, is I want you to pay off just one of your bills. So many things you are paying installments, at least one of the bills you clear, so that you can say proudly that at least one thing really belongs to you, really owned by you. Jill somewhat awkwardly means here uneasily. She was somewhat uneasy with the way Aunt Jane spoke. Thank you, Aunt Jane. It's very nice of you. And she thanked Aunt Jane. Thank you very much for your help, for your check, Aunt Jane. Aunt Jane patting her arm. There, now I must be going. And Aunt Jane patted her arm there. Okay, see you again. I must be going now. Jack says, I will see you to the bus anyway. Okay, you refuse to travel in my car, Aunt Jane. I will at least just accompany you to the bus. I will see you off there at the bus stop. Jill says, now goodbye, Aunt Jane, and thanks so much for the present. Jill thanks Aunt Jane for the present of the check, and she leaves from there. Aunt Jane kissing her, goodbye, my dear. Aunt Jane just drew her close, embraced her, kissed her, goodbye, my dear, and she left. She and Jack go out. Means Aunt Jane and Jack go out because Jack offered to see her off at the bus stop. Jill looks at the check and exclaims, £10. And that check was worth £10. Oh, she looks at the check and exclaims, oh, £10. Then she hurries to the table, addresses an envelope, endorses the check and slips it inside with a bill which she takes from the bag and seals the envelope. What did she do with the check? Now see, she hurries to the table, takes out an envelope, writes the address there on the envelope, endorses the check. Endorse means what? Write on the back of something or approve. When you write on the back of a document or write on the back of a check, generally, suppose your father gave you a check to draw the money from the bank. Your name is written there on the front side of the check. On the back side also, your father has to endorse. Endorse the check means on the back side also he has to sign, indicating that he only is sending that particular person, that is you, to draw the money using the check. That is what is called endorsing. So she takes out an envelope, endorses the check, and keeps that check in the envelope. There was, along with a bill, she takes out a bill from her handbag. Along with the bill, she keeps the check, and both of them she puts there in the envelope, and she seals the envelope. She pastes that. Then she rings the bell. In a moment, the nurse comes in with the baby in her arms. Already, see, in addition to all these things, they also appointed a nurse to look after their baby, a small baby. So when she rings the bell, in a moment, the nurse comes there with her baby in her arms. Jill says now to the nurse, oh, nurse, I want you to run and post this for me. I will look after baby while you are gone. I want you to run and post this for me, my dear nurse. I will look after the baby. Just give the baby to me. I will look after the baby while you are gone. Nurse, certainly, madam. She hands the baby to Jill, takes the letter and goes. A second later, Jack comes in again. After the nurse leaves the place, Jack comes back again after seeing off Aunt Jane at the bus stop. Jack, well, she's gone. Oh, thank God she's gone. What a tartar. What's the meaning of Tartar? An irritable or hard to cope with person. What's the meaning of COPE? Cope? To bear. Means a person who cannot be born, that means whom one cannot bear at all. That is called an irritable person. It is also known as a Tartar. So he was referring to whom when he was saying about that Tartar? He was referring to Aunt Jane. Because she told him good things, that's why he thought she was a Tartar. She was an irritable person. She was a person whom nobody can cope. Nobody can bear. Oh, well, she's gone. What a Tartar. Still, she did leave us a bit on account. How much was it? Even still, she did a good thing. She did leave us a bit on account. Means, I think she gave a little check. She did leave us a bit on account means what? She has given us something to be added to our account. How much was it? Jill says 10 pounds. Jack with a whistle, phew, like that. He was expressing relief there, joy. That's great. We can pay off the next 2 months on the car with that. Oh, next 2 months if we pay the 10 pounds, 5 pounds each month, we can buy the car with that. That's great. We can pay off the next 2 months. Next 2 months installments we can pay with that amount. Jill says, I'm afraid we can't. No, Jack. I'm afraid we can't. Jack, why ever not? Why are you saying like that? Jill, why ever not? We can make use of that money to pay the next 2 installments for the car. Jill says now, you see, I've already sent it off for something else. Nurse has just gone to post it. See, my dear Jack, I have already sent it off for something else. And I sent the nurse to post it just now. Jack, well, that's all right. Okay, Jill, that's all right. Anyway, you sent the money to pay some installments only. Okay. Who have you sent it to? But tell me exactly to whom did you send? Jill says, Dr. Martin. Jack, Dr. Martin? What on earth possessed you to do that? What happened? Have you gone mad? Jill, what on earth made you? What on earth possessed you to do that? Has anything possessed you? A demon or a devil possessed you that you did like that? You sent that 10 pounds check to Dr. Martin? Jill, nearly in tears, and she started crying. There, now you are going to be angry with me. See, for simple thing only you are getting angry with me. She started crying. Jack says, I'm not angry. Jill, try to understand. But why waste good money on the doctor? Why waste good money on the doctor? Jill, I don't understand. Doctors don't expect to get paid anyway. Doctors don't expect to get paid anyway. What is there for us to pay to the doctor? We need not pay anything to the doctor. It was over already. Jill, sobbing a little. She started sobbing a little, crying with breaks. But you don't understand. But you don't understand anyway, my dear Jack. Jack says, understand what? Jill, why? Just one more installment and baby is really ours. Now she revealed the truth. One more installment, Jack, and the baby is really ours. That means the baby that they had possessed is also on installments. They did not pay the money, doctor's bill fully while she delivered the baby. They did not pay the hospital bills completely, doctor's bills. So the baby was on installments. Not only the things in their house, on the house itself, but also their baby was not fully owned by them. See the amazing thing about that. No, just one more installment, and baby is really on. So she is holding out the infant. She is showing the infant there a little pathetically, sorrowfully. As we black out means as the curtain rises, it becomes black there on the stage. The play or the drama ends here. They black out means they disappear, the curtain down. She was holding the little baby a little pathetically, telling her husband that one more installment they need to pay again to own the baby fully. So this is how human relations play out in the present day's world. Maybe it's like a story only, but there are many people like that who buy several things are installments and unable to pay back the installments money. They generally lose, and sometimes they are forced to commit suicide, end their lives because of the insult that is heaped upon by the concerned financial institutions or banks from which they have borrowed the money to buy all those things on installments. Okay, children, with that we come to the end of this lesson. We will be discussing the exercise and other things in the next class.